everyone! In this video I would like to show you how to solve linear equations. First of all, keep in mind that an equation is only an equation if it has an equal sign. If it doesn't, it becomes an expression, you can't solve it, you can only simplify it. Second, an equation is only linear if it does not have any of the following three things. If it does, it's not linear and you can't solve it using the way that I'm about to show you. So if you determine that your equation is linear, let's get ready to solve it. To solve any linear equation, you will use the following 5 steps. Keep in mind that not every equation will require you to perform every one of the 5 steps. Sometimes you'll have to skip the steps. For an example of a linear equation I chose for you today, we will need all 5 steps performed. So the first step is distribute. Distribute means multiply a number in front of the parentheses by the numbers on the inside of the parentheses. If the equation didn't have parentheses, we would skip this step. Our equation does have parentheses, so I will go ahead and multiply. 3 times x and 3 times negative 2. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Notice I'm not multiplying this 3 by this 1 because 1 is not inside of the parentheses. I'm just going to bring the 1 down. Along with everything else I have not touched yet. The next step calls for finding a common denominator and multiplying every term by that common denominator. This is done to cancel the denominators and have an equation that doesn't have any fractions. So here we go. This equation contains 2 fractions. One has a 3 and one has a 2 at the bottom. The lowest common denominator for 2 and 3 is 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that 6 and multiply every single term, fraction or not, by the 6. Here's why. Look at the first fraction. It used to be 2/3. Now I'm going to say that 3, that's at the bottom, goes into the 6 that I multiply the top by 2 times. So instead of 2/3, I now have 2 times 2, which is 4. And I also have an x next to it, so that's 4x. The next term used to be 1/2. Now I'm going to say that 2 goes into 6 3 times. So it's 1 times 3, which is 3. The next term is not a fraction, so I'm not going to be canceling anything. I'm just going to multiply. 2x times 6 is 12x. Then my equal sign. Then I have 3x times 6, which is 18x. 6 times 6, which is 36. And 1 times 6, which is 6. Now the equation looks really good. It doesn't have any fractions, and we're ready to move on to step number 3, which requires us to combine like terms on each side of the equal sign. On the left side of the equal sign, I have 2 terms with x's, the 4x and the negative 12x. When I combine 4 and negative 12, I get negative 8x. And I still have this 3. The right side has 2 like terms that have no x's next to them. Those are negative 36 and 6. Negative 36 plus 6 is negative 30. So now on the right side, I have my 18x and negative 30. Now we're done with step 3, so we're ready to move on to step 4. Step 4 is very similar to step 3, but it requires you to combine like terms on opposite sides of the equal sign. So it's not the exact same way. However, before you combine, you need to move the terms that are on opposite sides so that they're on the same side of the equal sign. I will go ahead and take this 18x and move it here to the left side, but there is a trick. When you move things from one side to the other, you need to change the sign. So instead of positive 18x that it used to be on the right, it's now negative 18x on the left. Since my x's both ended up to be on the left side, I'm going to take the numbers that have no x's, the free terms, and put them to the other side. So that would require taking this positive 3 and moving it here to the right side, and that will make it negative 3. So let's see what we have after we combine them. Negative 8 and negative 18 together will give me negative 26x. And then here on the right side, I have negative 3 and negative 30 together is negative 33. Final step, step number 5, asks us to divide by the number that's next to x. The number that's next to x is negative 26. I will divide both sides by negative 26. So here on the left, 26 is canceled, and on the left is x. And on the right, I have my negative 33 divided by negative 26. Well, 26 doesn't go into 33. We do need to note that both numbers are negative. So the ending value will actually be positive 33 over 26. And you do want to see if it's reducible, if this fraction can be simplified. I don't think this one can be because 33 and 26 have nothing in common. There is no number that goes into 33 and 26. But if they did, we would definitely reduce the fraction. Other than that, we're done. This is it. We solved the linear equation.